right, this project is going to be made using one of these surfaces that I got from one of my Michaels grab bags. I think they were originally $14.99. I like this, but I wanted to do something special, and this is the surface that it worked on the best. So I have had this little tree made out of birch bark forever in my craft stash, and I just never knew what to do with it. So it's got some wire that I think was originally wound around it like this, but I think actually it was on something else that I took it off of. So we'll see what I do with that, because I do have some of this that I might see if that's going to look right with it. I want really neutral. I've got some different picks and stuff like that to try, but I had this set of vintage looking music, Christmas music that I got from Temu, and I love it. I'm saving this for something else because I don't want to cover up that picture. I don't know if you can see it. I just think it is precious. So I am going to use, there's Silent Night, there's What Child Is This, Joy to the World, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and then Oh Christmas Tree. And I'm going to use these three that have the darkest tint to them. Put the other ones aside. And I'm going to be wasting quite a bit of some of it, but I will save it for another project. So I'm going to have, I had it situated, and now I can't remember how I had it. I want the titles to be showing. So maybe I had it this way. I think I did. I had it this way. And then this is going to cover the rest. I just needed a little bit of some others to cover the top. And I'm going to just decoupage those on. Mod Podge, whatever you want to call it. So, I'm almost out. I'm going to have to get some more. I'm just going to put some over the surface. It's almost a shame to cover this one up. It's really cute, but it's going to be really cute when I get done, so it's going to be worth it. Just going to put it on here. Just a nice even coat. And then I'm going to, whoops, I don't need all of this. Oh, I should have. I only need it to about here, so I'm going to cut off some of this. I'll just let the part dry that I got stuff on. All right, so halfway through this second bar. And put it right there. And anything I cut off, I will be able to reuse on something else. Maybe actually. I think I'm just going to use this. I won't even have to use the Little Town of Bethlehem one, but I do want to get this so that the edges aren't showing in the middle. There we go. And I think, oh, see, I changed my mind, so good thing it's not totally adhered yet. I'm going to put this on top. So I'm going to put a little bit more Mod Podge on here just in case. I had it kind of figured out, but once you start putting it on and getting the excess cut off, it kind of changes. Okay. There we go. There. Okay, now I'll get the rest of this down. Whoops, I just dripped all over everything. Just put some over the top, Mod Podge that together so we don't have any edges sticking up. And then I am going to let that dry. It doesn't take too terrible long to dry. I'm gonna get this, I think they call these a brayer. Anyway, get any air bubbles out. So I see a couple in there. that's trying to lift up. So let's see what we need to do. What did I do with my, oh, I dropped it in there. Oh, what'd I tell you? I can sit here and lose something. All right, get the air bubbles out. Let me get a little paper towel. Wipe off this stuff that's trying to drip on the side. I'm gonna wait till it's totally dry and then I will trim off the edges. But I am going to just put a coat of Mod Podge just right over the top. Right along those edges. The trick is holding the surface while you're trying to do this without getting Mod Podge all over yourself. At least that's the trick for me. If you haven't used Mod Podge before, it dries clear, so it's just going to kind of give it a protective coating. Making sure I have it all the way up to the top here. That edge is wanting to come up just a little bit. There we go. All right, we will let this dry and be back for part 2. All right, the Mod Podge is all dry. I did get a little bump here, but it's not going to be a problem. I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and just try to get it so you can see without cutting myself. I'm just going to trim around the edges here. I don't care if I get it quite perfect because I'll show you what I can do. I'm going to get the main part of the excess off. All right, and I might save those. I might be able to use them with something. Crafting is terrible. You become a hoarder. But you never know what you're going to be able to use. So I've got my sanding block, and I'm just going to sand the edges. It's going to give it kind of a rough look, which I like. And it's going to get off all that excess. Whoops. Come on. Get this side a little bit, trying to get it so you can see and I can do what I need to do, which is a little bit beyond my coordination. So I've got some rough edges showing here because I have rough edges on some of it. So I want to just keep going till I see, sorry, it's hitting that table. I think I need a new sanding block. I think I said that last time I used it. I'm just going to really rough up the edges here, the corners, so it looks like it's old. Excuse me just a minute, I'm gonna take it down on my lap where it's a little bit easier to have control. So tell me, while I'm doing this and I'm off camera, tell me if you like that old kind of antique-y vintage look or if you prefer things to be modern. Or if you like a little bit of both. Okay. So now you can see I think you can see it okay. And sometimes I would go over this with my my ink pad, but I kind of like the white, but I think I need a little bit more over here. So let me get a little bit more. So I'm gonna leave it white this time just because the paper itself has that vintage look. There we go. Okay. Let's get all this dust off of here. So now I've got that birch bark tree that I am going to glue on. I almost grabbed my drink instead of my glue. My glue gun has been a little cantankerous lately, but it's working right now, so that's good. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to need glue because this is not a real smooth surface. But as long as I just get it, and I like it kind of coming over the edges. So I want a little bit here. That looks smooth enough. Just get enough glued down that it stays on here. I think I can put some under these two branches and even this bottom one. It's just going to be on a shelf, so it doesn't have to be super adhered. It's trying to bend back up, so I'm just going to hold it while it cools. I cannot remember where I got. I've had this in my crafting stash for, I'll bet, 15 or 20 years. And I just never really knew what I wanted to do with it. So I had a really cool one I was going to use, and I just used it in another project accidentally. I had kind of a mess here. I didn't even realize what I did. So I think I'm going to use this. So I'm going to take it apart. I already cut it off of the pit. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put this on. So I guess what I'm going to do is just cut little pieces, and here it is. That's what happens. I just totally forget things when I'm making a video. I get to talking, and so I will just glue this part. Whoops, they're falling off. Just put a little dot. Oops, that was a little bit bigger than a little dot, but then I can glue this one back on, I'll bet. There we go. I like this because it's got so much dimension to it. I like things that have different textures, different dimension. Just gives it so much interest. All right, let's cut another piece. And we'll go, what I'll do is just, well, first of all, get that off of there. Just cut, well, I'm gonna need bigger sections for the bottom part of the tree, so I guess I won't just cut these between the little berries. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Man, glue strings galore. Maybe I should save them in a cup and or use them for something, I don't know. Okay, this one I'm going to need 2 of these little berry segments, I guess you would call it. Oh, let's see. I think what I'll do is I will glue this on here and then bend that back a little bit. So that the berries are right there on the tip of the branch. If you see what I did, I just bent it back. Ew! Oh no! My birch bark is coming apart. It is kind of fragile. Get that extra glue off. Oh, I am going to love this. I can tell already. And I'm so thrilled. I'm trying to go through and use up things in my crafting stash that have been there forever. Because they've been there forever. And I need to stop hoarding things. Of course, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. And then I had this kind of come into my mind, and it's perfect. When I got this music, it's not real music, but the scrapbooking paper. It's like journaling paper, I guess, because it's like, what is that, maybe 9 by 9? I got it and I went, oh, I know what I can use that for. All right. I think I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut it a little bit long so I can just put those berries right on the end. Just fold them back up. Nope, that's not wanting to stay. something to hold that down while it cools off. There we go. And then I will put this right on the tip and fold it back. Perfect. All right. And we'll do, okay, that one's going to be a little bit too long to fold back, so I think I'll go to a plan B. Oh yeah, this is just what that tree needed, just a little extra oomph. But not too big of a splash of color. That gold is just perfect. And then I think I'm just going to cut some berries off and just glue those right onto the end there. Oop, it would help if I turned my clippers around the other way. There we go. Okay, put just a little bit of glue there. I should have found my tweezers, but they're kind of lost in the mess here. I've been doing several projects trying to get some videos ready, and things kind of get swallowed up. There. Okay, now I think I will still do a little bit on the bottom here, but I'll have to do it in like 2 segments because that little pine cone is in the way. And I do like the little pine cones. I think if I tried to take them off to replace them with like fresher pine cones, I could have an issue because, like I say, that birch bark is just very fragile. Okay. So I will just cut the 2 segments apart. And glue from the tip up to just under the pine cone. And then just put that little bead, the little, I call them beads, I don't know what they are, they're not really beads, but put them right here. And there. I wonder about putting a couple just on the tip of the tree, the top of the tree, instead of maybe a little star or something. I'll put 3. I'll cut another one off. There we go. All right. I don't know if you hear that clumping. There's people walking around upstairs. They're watching the football game up there. Okay. Now, let's see how I want this. So, I'm just going to play around a little bit. I'm going to cut these apart so that they're going to lay a little more flat. Maybe this can just pull off, yeah. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, let's just start there. I'm going to find my scissors. There they are. I'm just going to cut that little knob off so that it's going to lay a little flatter. Right there. These things that curl a little bit, you just have to hold them until the glue is pretty much dried or cooled, whatever you want to call it. And then I think I need to trim that just a little bit more on the bottom here. so it doesn't stick up, and then I will glue the pine cone itself. It's so pretty, it's nice and gold. Put it right there. And I'm not sure if we want the ornaments. They might be a little bit too much. I'm gonna need to glue that a little bit more. It's getting kind of heavy. Glue it down, and yeah, I think those are going to be too big. I do have this little string of jingle bells that I got at Dollar Tree last year. I don't know if that'll work or not. Let's see. First I have to figure out how to get it off. Don't think I like that. Do we just want some more of this? I don't think I like that either. Some little silver pine cones, those are too big. And you need little tiny things. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go look at my stash and I will be back. I had this little kind of goldberry look from the fishbowl project, which I'm not sure if that's going to post before or after this, or maybe even in the same video. So I am just going to put a little bit of that. I just cut it apart a little bit. Put some there. And some right there. I think I'll glue this down. And just hold it till that glue dries. I think that needs a little bit more glue under there. Now I could put a little bow or something up on the corner here, but I think I kind of like it just like it is. What do you think? I found some other things to add a little bit. I figured these pine cones needed a little something. So I've got those little rusty jingle bells, those little teeny ones, and I thought I would put a few on the pine cones just to add a little dimension. So I'm gonna try to do it this way. I'm using my left hand, so who knows. I'm gonna put the hot glue right on the jingle bell. Oh yeah, that's gonna work great. As long as it doesn't fly out of my tweezer. Oop, like that one just did. I love rusty things like this. They're just so vintage. Let's see. They're all turned the wrong way. All right, let's do one more on that one. It definitely adds a little bit more to those pine cones that were basically falling apart. I might need another one. Let's get that in a different spot there. Turn it around a little bit. Wanting to go the wrong direction. Okay, and then I think we just need about 3 on that little one. I don't know if this is gonna, it's turned the wrong direction. And it's falling off the tweezer. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can see all the glue strings, but they are massive. Okay, let's get another one. One more. Glue strings off. What do you think? Did that add what it needed? And then I have been wanting to use this Believe sign, and I think it would be really cute here, but I don't want the purple button, so I am just going to pop that off. And I have several vintage buttons. Now this one has thread on it that I don't want. I don't know if I can get the thread off. Well, that might be okay. So let me see if I can get them up here so you can see. I've got that look, or they're so little. It's not on there straight, but that look, or this one's just a little bit different. This one. And I'm needing to get the glue off my fingernail. I'm kind of leaning towards that first one, but let me get them down here where I can see them. But that one I like to, if I can get that thread out of there. I don't really like the look of the thread. But let me see if I can get the thread out of there. Oh yeah. Just need to clip it. There we go. Okay, I can go that way. I like it that way. Okay, I'm going to use this button. Oh, this has sticky things on the back already, and they work pretty well. And I'm going to put that right there. There, yep, I like it. What do you think?